everybody, and happy Thursday. Hope everyone is having a wonderful afternoon. I know this is a little later than normal. I had an incredible webinar that I did this morning. And I did one yesterday, did one today. And a topic actually came up in yesterday's webinar and today's webinar about adding notes when you're sending connection requests on LinkedIn. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. So as you're coming on live, please drop into the comments below, hi, and where you're tuning in from, or hashtag live, hashtag replay. If you are watching this on the replay, please tag some people, share this video. Don't forget to like, love, support, whatever emojicon you would like to use. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, please do after we are done. Head over to my LinkedIn profile, ring my notification bell. So obviously you get notified of all of my future content. Hey, Vani, good to see you, my friend. And beautiful, beautiful family picture. I loved it. Good seeing everybody smiling and happy. Also, for those that do not know, this coming Monday, Nancy and I are going to be hosting our first ever 3-day simple content repurposing workshop. So we're going to be teaching everybody over those 3 days how to work smarter and not have to work harder. So again, it's completely free. It's next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from 8 to 9 p.m. EDT, live and recorded. Replays will be available until the following Tuesday, July 5th. If you would like to register, we have close to 400 people registered for this one, which we're so excited for. Just drop an I do in the comments at any point, live or on the replay, and we will get you that registration link. So again, good to see people jumping on. If you do come on live, hi, and where you're tuning in from, hashtag live, hashtag replay if you're watching on the replay. And Kathy, we will send you that link. That is not a problem. And awesome, good to see people that are registered. Now, before I go into today's training, how many of you that are spending any time on LinkedIn are getting connection requests that send you horrible notes attached to it? And Michelle, I'll send you that registration link. So if any of you are spending any time on LinkedIn and you're getting connection requests, how many of you are getting connection requests that have horrible, spammy, cheeky, salesy notes attached to the connection request? So basically, people are sending you a connection request and they're just literally putting you on blast as far as selling and pitching to you in the note before even connecting. So if you have, just drop a Y or a yes. If you haven't, type N or no, because you are one of the lucky ones. Because me, I get them almost every single day. And that brings up the main point. Yeah, it's awful. Vani says it's awful. It is awful. Awful, awful, awful. So Nancy and I always talk about something called the smell test. So if you're going to add a note to a connection request that you're sending, you have to think about if this note was attached to a connection request that I'm receiving, would I accept it? And if the answer is no, it doesn't pass the smell test, it stinks, so you shouldn't send it. So what I wanted to go over with all of you today, if you are going to send a note, you want to make sure that you're sending a note that has a specific purpose behind it. But there are 3 notes that you never, ever want to send. And if you're on the receiving end of people sending these specific notes, do not accept them. Ignore those connection requests. So these are the 3 notes that you personally never, ever should attach to a connection request that you are sending out. So you are never, ever accepting a connection request from someone who's adding a note that is pitching you and selling you on a product, a service, a good, or an opportunity. Now, the same goes for you. Never, ever, if you're going to connect with someone on LinkedIn, never, ever add a note that sells and pitches that person. So type Y or yes. Have you ever received a connection request from someone that is selling you and pitching you on something that you don't even need because they don't even know you, they don't know what you do, or even if you could benefit from what they're offering? Because it's terrible. And again, if you've come on late, please do drop into the comments below, hi and where you're tuning in from, or hashtag live, hashtag replay. If you are watching in on the replay, don't forget to tag some people, share this video, like, love, support, whatever emoji you want to use. And if you would like to register for our free simple content repurposing workshop that begins this coming Monday, the 27th to the 29th, 8 to 9 p.m. EDT, live and recorded, just drop an I do in the comments and we will get you that registration link. Now, the fact of the matter is, anyone that is selling and pitching you in that note, they are not interested in building any sort of meaningful connection with you. Now, on the flip side of that, if you are being told or coached or mentored by someone in leveraging LinkedIn, and they're saying, yeah, add a note to the connection request and just let them know up front, hey, do you want this? Do you want that? Do you want this? No. No way. Building a business fully revolves around building relationships. If you are not interested in building genuine connection and relationships with people, you probably shouldn't spend any time on LinkedIn then. Taking the easy route, oh, I'm just going to spray and pray, I'm just going to connect with all these people, and I'm just going to attach all of these messages to it, and hopefully someone clicks on a link and books a call and buys what I have. Never, ever accept a connection from someone that is pitching you and selling you in that note, and you yourself do not send a connection request that has a sales pitch in that note. So that's number one. Number two, we see this one all the time. I'd like to add you to my professional network. So you don't ever send a connection request with a note added that has the simple canned response, I'd like to add you to my professional network. On the flip side of that coin, if you're receiving a connection request from someone that has that note added, do not accept, ignore that connection request, because here's the reason. Why? Why would you like to add me to your professional network? Why? What is the purpose? What is the reason? How did you come to hear about me? Why me specifically do you want to add me to your professional network? What is the purpose? Where's the connection? Where's the rapport? Where's the relatability? If you have scattered, clouded action, it's going to lead to scattered and clouded responses and results. But if you have clear action, you're going to have clear results. Do you want clouded results or clear results? Sending a note like this, it's not going to up the number of people that accept your connection requests. It's only going to repel people. It is disingenuous. It is inauthentic. It's not you. You're using some basic canned note that you think is going to add and raise the level of chances of that person accepting your connection request. Not true. So if that makes sense, drop a Y or a yes in the comments below. If you've come on late, please do say hi and where you are tuning in from, or hashtag live, hashtag replay. If you are watching it on the replay, tag some people, share this video. Don't forget to like, love, support this video. And again, if you're on LinkedIn, don't forget to ring my notification bell so you are notified of all the content that I put out Monday through Saturday. And if you would like to register for our free 3-day simple content repurposing workshop, just drop a hashtag I do in the comments below and we will get you that registration link. So in review, so far, we got one more to go over. Do not ever send a note attached to a connection request or accept one that pitches you and sells you in that note. Do not ever send the auto-canned response to a note when a connection request is sent that says, I'd like to add you to my professional network, nor should you accept that connection request. And third and final, never send a connection request that has a note attached to it, nor should you accept one that says, hi, Scott, I would love to join your network. This goes back to number 2. Why? Why do you want to join my network? What's the reason? What's the purpose? Just to be a part of my network? What is the reason behind why you want to join my network? So if you ever receive a connection request that has something like this, I just got that today, that's an automatic ignore. I don't want that person in my network. But on the flip side of that coin, I'm never going to send a note like that. So this brings up a really important question. So if this is clear, so far, if this has been clear of what you should never add to a connection request on LinkedIn when adding a note, just type "it's clear" in the chat below. Now, what I'll say to you is this. This brings up the other notion of, okay, so if I'm not supposed to add those notes and I do want to add a note, when should I add a note? Now, let me be clear. There are 3 instances where it is completely okay to add a note to a connection request on LinkedIn. 3. And here they are. Number 1, if you know that individual personally. So I'm going to use my friend Vani as an example. Vani and I have known each other for over 8 years. We're connected on Facebook. But what if we're not connected on LinkedIn? What if we're not connected on that platform? She ends up finding me on LinkedIn. She was just on there one day and I popped up as a recommended connection. And she sends me a connection request and she wants to personalize it. So she adds a note. And she says, hey, Scott, so great to see you on LinkedIn. I know we're connected on Facebook. Would love to connect here as well. Hope everything is great in your world. That is an automatic accept that connection. Do you know why? Because there's a personal connection to that individual. It's not just some random person saying, hi, Scott, I'd like to be added to your professional network. Why? So not only am I going to accept that connection because I know Vani personally, but she stated exactly why. We're connected on Facebook. We're not connected here. Let's connect on LinkedIn. So if that makes sense, drop a Y or a yes in the comments below. So number 1, you send a connection request with a note attached to the individual that you know personally. The second instance where you would add a note to a connection request is if you found that person via some resources that that individual has. So let me give you some examples. Say someone listened to a podcast episode of mine. They read my book. They subscribed to my newsletter. They voted in a LinkedIn poll that I created. They attended an online webinar. They met me at an in-person networking event. You would make mention of one of those things. So say Justina fits into one of those categories. I read her book. I would send her a connection request. Hey, Justina, just read your book on XYZ. Loved it, and it was amazing. Would love to connect with you here on LinkedIn. Or, hey, Justina, just listened to your latest podcast episode on XYZ. Would love to connect with you here on LinkedIn. Hey, Justina, it was great meeting you at that networking event last week. Would love to connect with you here on LinkedIn. Hey, Justina, I'm a subscriber to your newsletter and I love it. Would love to connect with you here on LinkedIn. That is the second instance where it is appropriate for you to add that note. So if that makes sense, drop a Y or a yes in the chat box. Number one, you know that individual personally. Number two, you make mention of how you came across that person. Webinar, book, podcast, newsletter, content, whatever it is, make a personal connection to that individual. So if that makes sense, drop into the comments below, Y or yes. If you're coming on late, please do say hi and where you're tuning in from, or hashtag live, hashtag replay if you are watching in on the replay. Don't forget to like, love, support this video. And if you would like to register for our free simple content repurposing workshop this coming Monday through Wednesday, 8 to 9 p.m. EDT, just drop an I do. And Justina said, hi, Scott, my boyfriend. I'll pop this onto the screen. Hi, Scott, my boyfriend, who's an SEO, saw you speak at their marketing event in Milwaukee and gave me your book. So again, it's one of those things. There we go. There's the personal connection. That's how this whole thing works. Love that. Now, the third instance, if you were referred to connect to that person. So say I was talking to a friend of mine that is looking for help in some area of their business. They just make a mention. They're like, Scott, I really need help in XYZ area of my business. I'm like, boom. Listen, Steve, my friend Justina could absolutely help you. Reach out to her on LinkedIn. Here's her first and last name. Just in the note that you're attaching to it, make mention that I recommended that you connect with them. So then this person reaches out to Justina. Hey, Justina, would love to connect with you. My good friend Scott Aaron mentioned that you help business owners in XYZ category, and he said you're the best at it. Would love to connect and learn about how you could potentially help me. Now, you made mention, or hey, Justina, our mutual friend Scott told me that I should reach out to you on LinkedIn. You got a great business podcast and you may be looking for some guests. Would love to have the opportunity to be a guest on your show. And I have a podcast myself and would love to have you on mine. Looking forward to connecting. You're making mention of a connection point, a personal connection point from you to that person. The more that you make a personal connection with someone, letting someone know, hey, Justina, saw that we have 295 mutual connections and one of them is this guy, Joe, thought it would be good to reach out. Just to let everybody know, most of the mutual connections that we all have on LinkedIn, we do not know them personally. We don't. So make specific mention to someone like, oh, yeah, this person knows this person. I'm the middle person. I'm going to do the introduction. So the three instances, you know that individual personally, you found that person, perfect example, Justina, boyfriend at the event, book, now she sent me a connection request. And third, you make mention of a referral, who you were referred by to send you that connection request. But again, what you don't want to do, never ever sell and pitch in the note. Never ever write, I'd like to add you to my professional network. And never enter say, hi, so-and-so, I would love to join your network. Why? Why? What is the point? So again, if you found this helpful, just drop a Y or yes in the chat. But I would also love to hear, what was your biggest takeaway from today's training? Drop that into the chat below. Again, anyone that would like to register for our free simple content repurposing workshop next Monday through Wednesday, just drop an I do in the comments below. Love and gratitude to each and every one of you. Have a wonderful rest of your Thursday, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.